everybody, this is Lisa with Passion with Pets, or Passion for Pets. Oh my goodness, I don't even know my own channel. Hi everybody, this is Lisa with Passion for Pets, and I've got Milo and Hera out for floor time, a little bit of floor time, and this is like my last minute ditch effort to make you a video for spaying and neutering. Before I leave to go out of town tomorrow. So they're out hopping around, and maybe I can get a little brushing done because I noticed that there's a little bit of molting going on Milo, just a little bit, but we'll see. We'll let them roam around. Wow, my goodness, Missy. So anyway, when it comes to spaying and neutering, I didn't have to worry about anything with Milo because I adopted both of them from the animal shelter, our local animal shelter. I know that there are a lot of places where the animal shelter only handles dogs and cats, and not small animals, but mine happens to handle small animals as well. In fact, a lot of times it seems like there are more small animals at the shelter than there are dogs and cats. At one point there were like 4 or 5 dogs at the animal care and control, and a few cats. But when you added up all the small animals, there were 9 rabbits, there was a couple of guinea pigs, a couple of gerbils, a hamster, that's already outnumbered the dogs and cats. It's crazy. So it definitely check first and foremost if you don't already have a rabbit or any other small animal that you want to have, check the local animal shelter first. What are you doing? So to see if they're there. And the benefit of adopting from there is that, one, they weren't as expensive as purchasing at a pet store or even adopting from somebody else. At the pet store, I've noticed the rabbits are about $60, $64.99, something like that. They may be younger, but you're still spending a lot of money. And then you need to find, regardless, you're going to need to find an exotic vet that will specialize in rabbits. Not every vet will do that. The vet that we would normally take our dogs and cats to does not handle rabbits. So in that case, we have to find a vet where they will handle small animals, which we did. We found a vet that handles small animals, but adopting from the shelter, they were already fixed. So that was awesome. Hi, sweet pea. Now, Hera, she had only been at the shelter there for about a week, and the day that I adopted her, she was just finishing up her pain meds for being fixed. So the initial part of it I did not have to worry about because she was recovering there on her pain meds there. When I brought her home, I kept her in a smaller cage because you want to discourage a lot of running and hopping around because you don't want her to rip open her incision. So, just, my goodness. So just a lot of just making sure that, especially if it's a female, that she doesn't overdo it and rip open her stitches. And make sure if you're gonna chew on my books. My other rabbit did that years ago. But you want to make sure that she's not going to run around and rip open her stitches. Now, if you're not lucky like me and you have to get your rabbit fixed, again, it's going to be a lot of the same thing. If you've ever gotten a dog fixed, a female especially, they're going to be groggy when they come home. Now, they do say if you have more than one bunny, if you have 2, bring the other one with, even if it's not getting fixed, because it'll lessen the stress on the bunny that's going to be having surgery. because they'll have their buddy there with them to help calm them down. If you've only got one, obviously, you can't send a buddy. But make sure that you can have surgery done and have the rabbit dropped off and picked up in the same day to lessen the stress on the bunny so that the bunny can come home and be where it's familiar again. But again, make that hopping and running space smaller so that she can't run around and rip open those stitches. For males, it's a lot easier. Their surgery is a lot less invasive. So, and years and years and years ago, like 18-ish years ago, when I got my first bunny, I didn't know near what I know now. I knew stuff, but the resources were a lot slimmer than they are now. But I bought him from a pet store, and of course, I wanted to cut down on his very rank pee and any spraying and hormonal behavior. He was my only bunny at the time, but again, I always heard that, getting your rabbit fixed was beneficial for their health. And you make sure that you find a reputable vet so that they don't, because I've heard people say they won't get their rabbit fixed because they've had friends do it and their rabbit didn't make it through the surgery. Chances are they did not have a good reputable vet that knew the a rabbit's system is not the same as a dog or a cat's. So, but anyway, so the rabbits are going to come home feeling groggy and hopefully in the same day to lessen the stress, because they do stress very easily and stress is very hard on their systems. They're not going to want to eat very much because they're not going to really be feeling well. I mean, when we have surgery, we don't have an appetite either, but you have to make sure that they're at least drinking, maybe nibbling on some hay, because if they don't eat within a 12-hour span, they can go into stasis, and we don't want that. But make sure that they don't have a lot of running room, because you don't want them to hurt themselves. They'll be groggy when they come home and do a lot of sleeping, and just keep an eye on them, let them sleep, let them rest, provide a lot of water, provide food, and if they are in a cage, make sure that bedding is clean, because especially for the female, you don't want her belly to be on any soiled, like pee soaked, bedding or anything like that. Provide clean blankets, if anything, instead of the bedding until she heals up some more. Now, in my case, Hera, she still was needing to heal. She was in a small cage, and because they were not bonded yet, I did have her in the small cage for that, but I wasn't going to bond them until she'd healed some more, so I waited a month, because they also say it can take a month, hi honey, for their hormones to level out after the surgery. So of course I wanted to make sure that the bonding process went as easy as possible. Now again, bring them home within the same day of surgery. Give them a space where they can relax and rest. Provide food and water. Provide a clean fleece bedding or whatever, so that they don't lay in any soiled bedding to get their incision infected. And then just, if you can, just check it every now and then and make sure everything is good. If your rabbit doesn't like to be handled, I wouldn't worry too much about it. In fact, chances are, if you really think there could be a problem with the incision, take them back to the vet and they can check it. But it really isn't too difficult. After a month, she's as good as new. They've bonded. It's like nothing ever happened. So Yeah, I just think, as long as they, get to have their buddy with them, like if I had them both and had to take her to get fixed, he would have gone with her. Yes, that would stress him out too, but they'd be together. They comfort each other. That's why when you first start out bonding them, you stress bond. You stress them out, and I stress bonded them in here. Look how it's not huge. It stretches out, but they were both in there, and I picked it up and I jostled it a little bit, and it stressed them out. But the last thing on their minds was fighting with each other. What they did was snuggle. I mean, it was forced snuggling because it was not a big space, but they have never had a fight as a result of stress bonding. But yeah, as long as if you have two bunnies, let them both be at the vet and just the vet should understand. If they specialize in bunnies, they understand the companionship that bunnies have. So, it shouldn't be a problem for you to bring your other one for company. And then make sure that they can be picked up the same day, again, to lessen that stress. Provide a small, clean area for resting and relaxing when they get back, and food and water. And if you're observing that they're not eating or drinking, it's important within the 12 hours for them to be eating some hay, but definitely water. And if you notice they're not drinking anything, syringe feed the water if you must. I strongly suggest that. What is this we're doing? Huh? So, I can't think of anything else and when the first rabbit that I had, he was a boy, so he got neutered, and he came home and he was groggy, and he was a free range rabbit. He had a small cage that he was only in at night and when I was at work. The rest of the time, he was a free range rabbit, and when he came home, he didn't do a lot of hopping around. And again, he didn't have as invasive of a surgery. But he came home and he found a corner in the living room to lay in and just rest. He ate when he was hungry. I didn't notice any problems with eating or drinking. He did use a litter box, but again, make sure that litter is nice and clean. I scooped it more often when he was healing. And then you should be fine. Just make sure that they're eating and drinking. If you have any concerns, talk to the vet, let them know, she's been home for almost 12 hours and I haven't seen her eat or drink anything. I've been watching her, and they'll give you some suggestions. Don't leave it up to chance, because it can get very dangerous if they don't eat in a 12-hour period. But in my experience, that wasn't an issue. It's all in your bunny's personality too. But Hera, I don't know the way she was in the first couple of days of her surgery. They were going to give me her pain meds to bring home with me if she had any left, but she just happened to have finished her pain meds the day that I brought her home. But they will give pain meds to help manage that. And then they're just going to sleep it off, and, and as they wake up a little bit, that's when you're going to want smaller area, a clean, we're grooming Milo, a clean, smaller space to avoid, once they're feeling a little bit better, we want to avoid the running around and the binkies and things like that, especially for the females, because we don't want ripped open incisions. Check to make sure that they're not bothering their incision, just kind of like you would with a dog or a cat. Make sure they're not constantly licking it or chewing at it or anything like that. And if needed, there are occasions that a vet will give an e-collar to a rabbit as well as to, like the way they would for a cat or a dog. But the downfall to an e-collar for a rabbit is, yes, they can't get to their incision anymore, but they can no longer turn their head around towards their butt and eat their cecotropes. And that is very important for them. It's not something like just the regular poops. It's not like they poop and then just turn around and eat it off the ground. They eat their cecotropes. They eat their cecotropes directly from their hind ends. So with the e-collar on, they will not be able to do this. So that is the one thing that I had read was that you would have to feed their cecotropes to them. The issue I have with that is I have no idea when they expel those to know when to get them from them to feed them to them. So if at all possible, avoid an e-collar. Just keep an eye on, make sure that they're not bothering their incision. And then it should all just pretty much go smoothly. If you have somebody pooped, oh, you moved. Are you hiding it? Are you hiding the poop? Hi. You're hiding. There, I see it. I see the poop. There it is. So anyway, that's about all the information that I can think of. If you have any other... Hi, Hera. If you have any other questions, please ask them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. I am by no means an expert, and I've only had the experience of having 2 of my rabbits spayed and neutered. Milo was neutered when I got him, and he was already healed up. She was already in the healing process when I got her, so I really only did start to finish with my rabbit 18 years ago. But it's pretty straightforward. So yeah. Hi, my sweet. Hi, my sweet girl. I'm going to miss you guys when I go to Canada. I am. And we will be vlogging when we go tomorrow, my son and I. Unfortunately, my buns got to stay here. And my husband will be taking care of them, feeding them and stuff, as well as our other dog and our cats. And our fish. He's going to have to feed my beta and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to miss my buns, but I am going to 16 hours away to Thunder Bay, Ontario, which is not, it's on the Thunder Bay, is about half an hour, 40 minutes from the border into Minnesota. So, it's going to be a long drive. We're going to do half of the drive tomorrow and half of the drive on Thursday. We're going to be there Friday for the funeral, and then we're going to hang out Saturday, and then we're going to come back Sunday and Monday. So that's the plan. And we're bringing little Bella with us, who is right here. Bella's going to come on a road trip, isn't she? So yeah, that's about all I've got for you guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching, and like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I want to get my subscribers up so that we can, get this information out, because otherwise I feel like a lot of the time I'm doing this information for myself. I want to, get some viewers and some subscribers. But anyway, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I got some things I got to get together for the trip tomorrow, and then I am going to go to bed because I have a long drive. So, hope everybody has a great night, and I will talk with you all later. Thank you for watching. Bye!